G'day friends, welcome to class. If it's your first time here, my name's Sam, pleasure to meet you. If you would be so gracious as to press that little subscribe button, that would mean so much. I had a little look at the analytics and I was shocked to find out that 58% of people who watch these videos are not subscribed. So if you would be so kind as to press that button, it would mean a heck of a lot. Hopefully some more eyes can get on these videos and we can share the practice with some more people. We have a strong Vinyasa flow today. The focus is going to be on twisting. If you have some blocks, they'll come in handy. If you don't, it doesn't matter. When you're ready, as always, let's get right into it. So we'll get started in today's practice, just coming onto hands and knees. As we normally do, if we practice together, sit the hips back to heels, tuck the toes under, and turn the fingers to face back towards your thighs. So moving around the feet and the ankles, just to stretch out through the bottoms of the toes. If the heels spin away from one another, you feel that stretch under the pinky toe. If you spin the heels a little closer, we'll get into the big toe there as well. If you want to feel a little more in the wrists, you send the shoulders back behind the line of the wrist. Then if you can, one wrist at a time, let's go left first. You could bend your left elbow, lift your left palm off the mat, and just work to keep the fingers grounded, see what that feels like. And finding the same on the opposite side. So right elbow bending, right palm lifting, fingers still grounding flat. And then spinning fingers to point back towards the thighs, taking back of hands to the mat, starting nice and low, elbows bending, letting yourself get lower to the floor. This feels comfortable, work to make a fist, closing the fingers slightly. And then maybe straightening the arms, seeing what that experience feels like. And if that works, spinning the biceps towards the front of your mat. That is really going to get into the back side of the wrist there. Nice work. Sitting back on the heels, interlace the fingers really light and just start to roll out through the wrists. So do a few big circles or figure eights, you could call them, in one direction before switching and going back the opposite. And when you feel ready, setting for downward facing dog, ground the palms down, lift the hips up and back. You get there if you need to, move and pedal out through your feet. If you're comfortable being still, let that be the option you take today. But working to slow down the breathing once we get there. So letting the breaths last longer, and without them necessarily getting any louder. Take one last full breath. Then together, heels rise. Start to tiptoe towards the top of the mat. Notice if the palms want to lift up. See if you can keep the palms pressing down for as long as you can as you travel forwards. Then inhaling to lift halfway when you arrive, coming onto fingertips or resting hands against the shins. Exhaling to fold heavy. See if your head can drop right at the end. And we'll roll up towards stand, keeping the chin heavy to chest until you rise. Pushing down through the feet. Once you feel the head lift, just roll your shoulders back. Energetically find Tadasana, mountain pose. Perhaps you lift the 10 toes off the mat for a moment. Feel the ball joint of your big toes ground down. Roll the shoulder blades back towards each other. Let the fingers spread out wide. Let's take a breath here together. Gentle on the exhale. And as we breathe in, let the arms rise above the head, look up towards your thumb. As you exhale, fold heavy. Knees bend if they need to, head drops at the very bottom. Then inhale, we'll lift up halfway, get long. From here, step the left leg back long, find a lunge. We'll stay on the fingertips, sit nice and deep in the right thigh, let the left knee lift away from the floor. As you flex into your left glute, keep left fingertips grounded, reach the right arm up towards the sky, find a twist. Let the right shoulder blade wrap onto the back. See if you can gaze up towards your right thumb, looking with your left eyeball to really finish your twist. Either staying here, if we really want to get into the legs today, you can just lift onto maybe the first 2 fingers without necessarily lifting out of the lunge. If there's space, maybe you're on 1 finger or 2. Whew, that's always a bit challenging. So if you can, just getting nice and light on that left hand, maybe eventually it floats. You're going to be here for a breath in. Stay for the exhale. Then both hands down towards the mat. We're going to step it back towards the plank pose. Getting nice and long, pushing your heels back, letting the crown of your head reach forward, and wrap those biceps to the front of the room. Let's take a breath together. As we exhale, we'll find Chaturanga, lowering down halfway before untucking the toes, straightening your arms, and pulling your shoulder blades back to lift your chest. Upward facing, breathe in. From here, rebending the elbows, staying on the tops of the feet, before rolling the toes over, pressing up and back to downward facing dog. When we get there, inhale, the right leg will rise. Keep the toes flexed, hips square. Then roll open your right hip, start to bend into your right knee, and press evenly through both hands. See if the left heel will get a little lower to the floor there. Take another breath. And from here, let your left heel rise higher. Take your right knee to tap your left elbow. So roll forward through a plank, come across the body, then extend your right leg out to the left-hand side. Keeping the rest of the body in a plank position, both palms grounding flat, back heel lifting. You could even shuffle your left foot a little further backwards there. If we've practiced together before, you know we love this next part, so ground down through your right hand. If there's space, just let your left arm reach out in front of you. Trying to wrap your left shoulder down in line with your right, pushing away from the floor so you're climbing out of that right shoulder joint. Flexing the right toes towards you, feeling the space in the outside of the hip. Take one last breath. And exhale to set the left hand down. Push to lift the foot. Take it back to downward facing dog. One breath in. Let it out. And again, lift the heels. Step the opposite foot forwards this time as you walk towards the top of the mat. Again, working to keep the palms flat as long as you can as you step. Then inhale, we'll lengthen halfway. Exhale, we'll bow. Inhale, let the arms climb all the way overhead. So stand up tall, look up. Then exhale, pull hands through center, reset Tadasana. Continuing through left side, inhale, we climb. Exhale, let's dive. Halfway lift, we breathe in, long spine. Then left foot stays. Step your right leg back nice and long. Stay on the fingertips. Sit deep in the left thigh. Let the right knee lift away from the floor. Once you feel grounded, right fingertips stay. Left arm will reach up towards the sky. Look up towards your left hand. Wrap that left shoulder blade onto the back. So the shoulder head moves away from your jaw. So you can look up without straining the neck. If you feel happy, stay right where you are. If you can, there's a little more space. Maybe you get lighter on that right hand. Still trying to sit deep in that left leg. Maybe the hand starts to float. Completely up to you. You explore. You see what's available. Be there for an inhale. Stay for the breath out. Then both hands find the mat. Step it back towards your plank. Pause for the in-breath. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, roll the shoulder blades back. Then stay on the tops of the feet, rebend the elbows, roll the 10 toes over, take a push up, come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises this time, toes stay flexed. Start to roll open that left hip, bend into the knee. See if that right heel can descend to the floor as you square off through your arms and shoulders there. So you're opening that inner right thigh. You're letting that left knee lift up nice and high. Inhaling. And then right heel will rise. Take left knee to right elbow, roll forward through a plank, and then extend the left leg out towards the right hand side. Everything else stays in a plank position. Palms are grounding, grip with fingertips, maybe shuffling the right foot a little further backwards. And if you have the space, you want to take it further, simply extend the right arm straight ahead. Keep pushing through that left hand, wrapping the right shoulder down, feeling that space in the outer hip. Be there for a breath in. Exhale, right hand will ground. Then push to lift the foot, come back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale. We let it out. Then from here, journeying to the floor, sitting on the bottom. So if you want to, you can simply walk up, or you can take a gentle hop, crossing the ankles and working to sit down. From here, lay down onto the back. Take both legs up towards the sky to start with. You could press the ball of the foot up towards the ceiling or flex the feet, whatever's most comfortable for you. But we're going to take the left hand behind the left ear, extend the right arm out towards the right-hand side of the room without it touching the floor. And then lower that left leg just an inch away from the floor. See if you can lift the head a little more so the low back stays grounded. We are going to take an inhale here. The exhale is going to lift the chest and take the left elbow to the right knee. And we're going to do that 8 times. Left elbow, right knee for 2. For 3, notice the legs stay the same. For 4. For 5. 6. For 7. Then on 8. Keep the elbow and knee together. Take your left hand to meet your right, both outside the right thigh. Now we crunch to lift the torso for 8. 7. For 6. 5. Keep the feet active. 4. For 3. 2. On 1. Both legs up towards the sky, both hands up towards the sky rather. See if you can lift the tailbone up off the mat. So pulse to lift that tailbone. Lift the shoulder blades up a little higher. Let's be here for 6. For 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Left arm out to the left-hand side, right hand behind the right ear. Left leg stays where it is. Right heel drops 1 inch away from the floor. Straight onto the other side. So take an inhale. Exhale, we crunch. Right elbow, left knee. We'll go 7 more. 7, for 6, 5. Go for 4, 3, 2, on 1. We hold. Right hand to meet the left. You know it. We've got 8 more. Let's crunch to lift that torso. 8, for 7, 6, for 5, 4, for 3, 2, on 1. Both legs, both arms up towards the sky. Try and lift that tailbone, lift the shoulder blades. Let's be here. 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Bend the knees. Set the feet underneath your ankles. Give yourself a moment to rest. Take yourself towards bridge pose, first by grabbing edges of mat, driving down through the feet, feeling your hips lift. As they do, roll the shoulder blades towards each other. Press through the heels, hug the inner thighs towards each other. Expand through the belly as you breathe in. Let's get a little indulgent with our inhales here. Mainly just to stretch through the abs. Take one last breath. And let hips lower down. As we get there, cross one ankle over the next. Rock up to a seat. We'll meet back in Chaturanga. Ground the palms down, step or jump back. From there, upward facing dog, roll the shoulder blades back, feel the stretch in the abdominals. And then rebend your elbows, stay on tops of feet. Roll the 10 toes over, take a push up, come back downward facing. Single breath, breathe in. Let it out. And reach the right leg up nice and high. Let the left heel lift, pull right knee to chest, step the right foot in between the hands. Then step your left foot in and up, drop the back heel down, prepare for pyramid pose. Both legs are straight, we work to square the hips. So left hip will wrap forwards, right hip will move back. Come onto the fingertips, take a halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows, descend over your right thigh. You step up that left foot as close as you need to, so that the heel can ground flat. Both quads are flexed, both kneecaps lifting. Take one last breath. We'll start to lift the chest up halfway. Soft bend in the right knee, let the left heel lift off the mat. Preparing for revolved half moon or Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. Take your left hand off the top of the mat in front of your right foot. If you had a block, you could use that. Take your right hand to the tailbone, lean out over the right foot, let the left leg hover. Flex the left toes towards the face, lift from the inner thigh, push to straighten your standing leg. From here, the hips will stay square, but the shoulders will open. So push through the left hand to peel the right shoulder up towards the sky. So you feel your chest turning to the right-hand side of the room, and if you feel the right shoulder stack on top of the left, you could reach the right arm up. Maybe you can get a little lighter on your left hand, getting into the legs a little bit more. If there's space, maybe the left hand could float. Keep that left foot active, right quad flexing. Take one last breath in. Stay for the exhale. Then take your right hand down to meet your left. Bend your right knee, touch your left toes to the back of the mat. When you get there, soften your left knee down. Pivot your right shin off towards the right-hand side of the mat. Sit your hips back to the floor, and then set your right foot outside your left thigh. From there, right hand's going to rest behind you. Inhale, reach your left arm up towards the sky. As you exhale, hook the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Find a twist back over your right shoulder. Feel the right shoulder blade wrap onto the back, with the crown of the head extending. Finish the twist by turning the chin back over the right shoulder. Take one last breath. And as we come back through center, so if you're all the way at the back of the mat, just like I am, keep the legs as they are for a moment. Just shuffle yourself forwards. And then from here, lean back slightly. Cross your left ankle in front of your right ankle, or your right ankle in front of your left, I should say. My apologies. From here, rock forward, ground the hands. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, stay on the tops of the feet, rebend the elbows. Roll the 10 toes. Push up and back. Single breath. Let it out. From here, left leg will rise. Keep the foot flexed. Keep the hips square. Let your right heel lift. Pull left knee to chest. Work to place the foot between the hands. And step your right foot in and up. Prepare for that pyramid pose. Right toes turn off to the right hand side of fraction. Left hip hugging in. Imagine you had your hand there in your left hip crease and you're trying to push your left hip backwards as you wrap that right hip forwards. Lift yourself up halfway. Make sure the quads are flexed. Take a breath. Exhale, fold over that left leg. The head drop nice and heavy. Keep the legs active. Feet grounding flat. And really let your head drop. Full breath in. And as we start to lift up halfway, soft bend in the left knee, right heel will rise. Right hand off the top of the mat, come onto the fingertips or use a block, set left hand to the tailbone. Lean forward slowly to lift the back leg in the air, immediately flexing the right toes towards your face. Push to straighten through the standing leg. If you feel the balance, start to peel your left shoulder to stack on top of the right. Try to keep the left toes facing forward if you can. If you feel the left shoulder stack, reach the arm up. Important to exhale and draw the navel in so you feel the core is active. Keep flexing those right toes. If you have more space, get a little lighter on the right hand. Maybe pop onto the first 2 fingers. If that works, keep the legs solid. Maybe the right hand floats. Be there for a breath in. Stay for the out. Then left hand to meet the right. Bend the left knee. Touch back to a lunge. Soften your right knee down. Awesome work. Then pivot the right shin off to the left-hand side. Send the hips back towards the mat. Set the left foot outside your right thigh. Sitting up nice and tall, left fingertips behind the back. Inhale, right arm will rise. And exhale, hook and twist. Peel your gaze back over your left shoulder. Maybe even resting your right hand across your chest. Feeling the heartbeat. Perhaps like mine, it's really started to speed up. One last breath here. And we'll unravel back to center. Again, if you're at the back of the mat, shuffle yourself forwards. Left ankle will cross in front of the right this time. Lean forward, ground the hands, pop, back, chaturanga. Last vinyasa here. Take the upward facing breath in. Rebend the elbows. Roll the toes. Take a push up. Come back. Downward facing dog. One last little challenge, and then it is all over for today. Unless you want to keep working your way through the library and watch some more videos, who am I to stop you? Take a breath. Inhale, let the right leg rise. Roll the hip open, bend the knee. If wild things in your practice, fall to outside edge of left foot, ground the ball of the right foot down behind the left calf. Spin and reach the hips and heart up towards the sky. So firm through the left hand, push, peel the heart up. Take an in-breath. As you exhale, right hand will ground. Pivot onto your left toes. Take your right knee off to the left elbow and extend the leg out to the left-hand side. We've been here before. We're going to take it a little further if you want to. So really make sure the right toes are flexing. You're pressing down through the outside edge of that left foot, or right foot, I should say. Left and rights are really hard sometimes, right? So outside edge of the right foot is grounding. Right hand is grounding if there's space. Reach the left arm out in front like we did before. Option to stay here. If you want to take it further, reach the left arm out to the left-hand side of the room. Keep firm through the right foot and right hand. See if you can pop up and take your left knee to tap your left elbow. We'll just hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Extend the left leg back. Set the left hand down. Take the right leg up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice work. Left side to go. Take an inhale. Let it out. Then inhale. Left leg will rise high. Let your hip roll open. Let your knee bend. If there's space, wild thing. Outside edge of right foot grounds. Ball of left foot behind the right calf. Spin and reach the hips and heart up towards the sky. Let your left arm be heavy here. Just stretch out through the left side of the belly. Take an inhale. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Roll onto right toes. Left knee across to the right elbow. Extend the leg out to the right hand side. Push through your left hand. Push through your left foot. If there's space, let the right arm reach forwards. You can stay here if you want to. We reach the right arm out towards the right hand side. We keep firm through the front of the mat. We see if we can take right knee to tap the right elbow. And then we pause and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Right leg back, right hand will ground. Take the left leg up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, we take it back. Downward facing dog. From here, journeying towards the top of the mat, any way you choose, walking, hopping. Once you get there, extend your legs out long in front of you. Give them a little shake out. Take the back of the hands to the mat, clench and open through the fingers. And finding Paschimottanasana to finish off. Flexing feet toward, letting the chest and arms rise. Inhale. Exhale, we dive forward from the pelvis like we were folding ourselves in half. Think more about your collarbones broadening forwards and your shoulder blades rolling away from your ears, rather than trying to headbutt yourself in the belly here. So if we can, we want to find just as much length through the spine as we do the legs. Take one last breath. Come back up to a seat. Just take ourselves down onto the back and extend both legs up towards the sky. From here, flex the feet actively. Take your arms out super wide and press your palms flat into the earth. Let the head rest down. So feet are super active, legs are as straight as they can be right now. We're going to take a breath in. On the exhale, we're going to work to lower both legs off towards the left hand. But before they hit the earth, let them hover. So they hover just shy of the earth. We try and keep the right shoulder blade still grounding onto the mat. We take a breath. And we use the exhale to lift back up through center. And we take both feet off towards the right hand. And again, we let them hover. The left shoulder blade will try and lift off. Keep pressing down firm. Keep those feet active. Take an inhale. Exhale, we lift, we lift, we lift. Cross one ankle over the next. Hug the knees to chest. Lift the head off the mat. Curl in nice and tight. Take a breath in. As you exhale, come down to your rest. So as you come down for your Shavasana, I encourage you to take up more space, take up more room, get really, really heavy on your mat. And for today, you may not have too much time to rest down in stillness, and that's okay. But as always, if you're not in a rush today, I encourage you to stay there for as long as is feasible. I want you to simply close your eyes wherever you are and bring your awareness back to your breathing. Perhaps the breath pattern has shifted from the middle of practice, from the start of practice. It's completely fine. I'm just working to acknowledge the breath. The breaths feel full. Does the breath feel efficient? You feel the breath is giving you as much energy as you need. If not, we consciously try to slow the breathing down. The breaths last longer. Embrace every moment of the inhale. The pause and space at the top of the in-breath. Every last moment of the exhale. The emptiness and stillness at the bottom. I leave you with your breath. I leave you in stillness. And thanks and respect from me to you. I'll see you on the mat again soon. Peace.